Good riddance to rights. Thank God now we're safe. I'm James Nathan Post.
Mexicans make good Americans. Not long ago, the words exploration and conquest and plunder were thought to be the most praiseworthy of acts, and the most celebrated heroes of both state and church were the conquistadors who brought home the most in booty and slaves. It was considered unquestioned then that land belonged to whoever could take it and hold it, and that the property of the conquered rightly belonged to the conqueror, and natural resources belong to the one who discovers them and can exploit them, and not to whatever Stone Age bands happened to be living there at the time. All of the native cultures, from Peru to Santa Fe, had been pretty badly decimated beneath the banners of the Church and Crown of Spain by the time the Anglo-Americans arrived here 300 years later under the Stars and Stripes. It had been Old Mexico here a long time before it became the territory of New Mexico, and decades later before it became one of the United States of America. My question is this: why should we think the existing political structures are no longer evolving, or should not be? What makes today's Mexican border so sacred, so set in stone, that we should enforce it with walls and guns and foster hostile racism on both sides? Why should we not do as we did back in 1846 and simply annex all the rest of Mexico? Should such an annexation be considered an oppressive or a predatory act, as if something were being taken from the people of today's Mexico by force? I should say not. Consider the conditions which exist today in the states of California, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas, all of which were formerly regions of Mexico. Then consider the conditions which exist today in the adjacent border states of Mexico, which did not become part of the U.S. I believe I can confidently say that millions of Mexicans are now voting with their feet to declare that life in the states above the border is better than life in the states below. That clearly being the case, why should we not act believing that life would be better in the rest of Mexico also if it were annexed, made a territory, its citizens methodically naturalized, and its opportunities for development fully realized, and eventually given full statehood? Yes, seriously, let's annex the rest of Mexico. The place has huge oil reserves and great harbors. No war to build a pipeline. It has vast developable real estate, 5,000 miles of beachfront. Millions of people eager to work hard in the low-tech, labor-intensive development of a modern urban infrastructure. There are also a few million willing recruits who would jump at a 4-year military hitch which gave them English classes, technical training, a combat tour, and dental care, and perhaps a 2-year extension to get a GED or go to college as appropriate. Many Mexicans would gladly take such a hitch today if it were made available to them. On the other hand, who should feel bad about losing his skilled industrial job and having to leave the mean, cold streets of jobless Detroit to take a good supervisory job in new industry in booming Tampico? Don't throw me in that briar patch, Bear Wolf. No, let's not create another enemy by trying to force Mexico to stay on her knees at the border. They have made it clear they desire to take part in what we have and what we are, and to live in the United States of America. We should grant their wish. We put that border where it is ourselves, and we can certainly move it farther south if we wanted to. We should marry Mexico, take over the household, clean house, and start acting like a family and spreading the United States of America down the continent. Since when did manifest destiny of the United States of America become a bad idea?